This is an adult podcast made by adults for adults. Hi, Nyquil Swade makes his first appearance on today's show, which is always great. We also decided to talk about two very horny movies, and it kind of seems like we both love How I Met Your Mother, so you can't miss that. Welcome to Fake Film Fans.
Okay, everybody, welcome to Fake Film Fans. Thank you for listening. I'm Swade, and I'm sick.
Hey everyone, I'm Walter, and I'm the cigarette you have after you quit for 2 months, and it's like instant regret.
Well, I don't even want to do the podcast. I'm sick. I have a cold. My boss gave me a cold. I don't even want to do the podcast.
You have to!
I don't want to do the podcast.
You have to!
Let me just drink a little bit more nighttime severe cold and flu, and then I'm ready for the podcast.
You know, you don't need to be ready for the podcast. In fact, you don't even need to do the podcast. But the only other option you have is to kill your boss.
You see, the problem with killing my boss is that I would not have a job anymore, and I need the job.
Is that how it works?
I mean, it depends where you work, but it would be for me.
Can't you just replace the empty position?
Yeah, maybe, but she's also the owner. That's the problem.
Yeah, so when something loses an owner, doesn't something come in and just become the new owner?
I don't know. I don't think so, right? I mean, Wait, what is this cheeky smile? I wish you guys could see this cheeky little smile. This cheeky
you might
cunt
as well
of a smile.
Kill around and find out.
No, listen here. I'm gonna kill you, you cheeky cunt. You're a cheeky cunt. Why don't you kill her, you cunt?
I can't wait until your boss dies tomorrow and then you actually get in trouble.
You hear this, police? The coppers? The pigs?
You have to do the podcast!
I'm doing the podcast! I drank the Nyquil, and Walter's gonna edit out all my nose blows. I hope, because there's going to be prodigious amount.
Prodigious?
Prodigious.
I don't actually know that word.
A lot. Many.
You know, I was watching a movie about, like, Southerners in the South.
Yeah.
Who are, like, you know, kind of poor and might not be as educated as I am. And I realized...
Excuse me?
What?
Is that some kind of crack on my identity, Walter? You fucking...
No, not you. I'm saying that they still use words. A lot of words that I don't know.
Yeah, that's because you're dumb. You're bad. You're bad and you're dumb. What movie was this?
I watched Red Rocket recently.
Oh, okay. Red Rocket starring Jennifer Hewitt and Marjorie Taylor Johnson.
Yes.
And Willem Dafoe.
Yes. Dude, can I actually ask you a question about this?
Yeah.
I don't understand why people love casting people. That game has never made sense to me. It's actually, like, incredibly, like... It's very fucking boring.
Not if you pick funny people. Like, what if you were going to make a thriller and the main bad guy was Kevin James?
That's not funny to me. If I can just pick anyone, why don't I just go, oh, let me pick a Cheeto. Oh, wow, so different. Oh, I'm so fucking funny. I picked a fucking Cheeto.
You just have a bad imagination. This is just like the poster bit, my glorious bit. Quick, right now, imagine a poster.
The poster bit is different because I don't use posters.
You just imagine one. I don't use a sword, but I can imagine a sword.
Okay, fucking imagine. Okay, let's try this again. Give me a caviar dish.
Okay. It would be like a sour cream and onion potato chip, and then caviar, and then like a gummy bear.
Okay, then I got one. My favorite poster would be a potato chip with sour cream and a gummy bear, and I can eat it.
Now make a movie. Now who plays that caviar potato chip in the movie of it?
Oh, I'm super funny. I got this. A potato chip with sour cream and a gummy bear. And they can chase around girls and kill them. I love society. Society makes so much sense.
All right. Imagine 180 days of sodomy. What is it called? God damn, that Nyquil.
Salo 180 Days of Sodom,
yeah.
Which is a film that you keep telling me not to bring up, but you keep fucking bringing up yourself.
If every one of the actors
was a Cheeto.
Was a Cheeto. No.
Are you asking me would I laugh?
If every one of the actors was a Cheeto, would you laugh?
I mean, maybe. I also might be hungry. That might be something. I don't know. I haven't really seen a movie that uses Cheetos as a main character, in fact.
Dude, today I went to the Dollar General. Do you know what that is?
Yeah. Dollar General stores never sell just things for dollars.
Yeah, it's weird. No, it's like totally, it's not like a dollar store, which is great. I went to the Dollar General because it's on my way home. I wish there was a dollar store near me. And I was buying snacks. I just wanted some snacks. Come on, don't be a dick. And
oh yeah, I'm totally judging Swade for wanting snacks.
Yeah, you're judging me. Well, I was talking more about the listeners. These listeners who want me to eat golden caviar. And I saw they're selling extra spicy flaming hot Cheetos now, not just regular Cheetos. Extra flaming hot. Can you get Cheetos in Hong Kong?
No, you definitely can. Maybe it's not in every single store, like in America. I think there's a lot of chips you can get in Hong Kong, but not every single chip in every single convenience store. And also our 7-Elevens, no, you can't get Cheetos there. You have to get all the Hong Kong chips.
I bet they're good, dude. I bet you have some really good chips.
Yeah. My favorite is this like pizza chip where they like put
dude.
really bad cheese on it, and it's like not even like a fucking pizza at all, but it's just skittered with like really terrible fucking cheese.
That sounds so fucking good, dude. That sounds fucking phenomenal.
Do you like Cheetos?
I do. I don't like flaming hot Cheetos. I like jalapeno Cheetos. Cheetos with a jalapeno flavor.
How about normal?
Normal Cheetos are fine. I really like, actually, I did buy this off-brand jalapeno popper flavored cheese puffs.
Cheese puffs are a little hard for me to enjoy these days. I don't know what it is.
Why is that?
I think the breading is a little like too soft.
Oh, see, I love it. I love the jalapeno flavors.
I haven't gotten cheese puffs in a really long time. I also feel like I don't usually try to get Cheetos because it's like a baby chip. It's like everyone, when you were a kid, you loved Cheetos, and then suddenly no one's lunchboxes had Cheetos anymore, so then you told your mom, I don't want Cheetos anymore, now I want Ruffles!
Dude, I didn't get snacks like that when I was growing up. My mom always thought it was bad for me, and also would make me fat, so I had to eat, like, carrot stick.
But you hate greens.
I know, dude, this is why!
Maybe I'm just not picky.
Yeah, because you won't even eat a pig's brain. You don't even like eating pig's brain. Or cilantro.
I don't like eating pig's brain, but I will fucking eat it if it's in front of me.
Or cilantro, Walt. Don't forget about the cilantro.
I always eat cilantro.
No, you don't.
I eat so much cilantro.
You spit it out.
Yeah, I do.
You spit it into the dirt. You say, get in the dirt.
You actually pick out your broccoli, which is childish and embarrassing.
Fucking broccoli is disgusting.
Embarrassing.
Oh, it's embarrassing when you pull your penis out in public.
Okay. It's actually not as embarrassing compared to someone who picks out their broccoli. I bet if we made a poll and asked what's more embarrassing, I bet pooping and pissing into your panties on accident is less fucking embarrassing than picking out your broccoli.
I think broccoli,
from a fucking dish.
First of all, if I am somewhere where someone has made food for me, I will eat it, regardless of what it is. But if I'm not going to hurt anyone's feelings, why would I eat something that tastes bad?
I mean, I'm not saying, like, you should or should not eat it. I'm just saying, it's embarrassing. How
is it embarrassing?
I get embarrassed when I sit next to you and you pick out your broccoli.
Embarrassing?
I'm like, oh no, please hide. Let me piss in my pants.
Explain to me how it's embarrassing. Explain to me how it's embarrassing. Explain it.
Broccoli is the first fucking vegetable I fell in love with.
Oh, did you marry it? Is it your fucking wife now?
Well, broccoli monster girls are hot, but like that's not really related, right? Okay, this is what it is. It's like the act of someone not able to like view their food as a whole, so you have to sit in front of me and like pick out bits of the food to like put away.
Which is why I wouldn't get food with broccoli.
It's fucking weird, man. It's fucking weird.
No, dude, it's gross. Broccoli's gross. It smells like fart.
What type of farts do you fucking have that smells like broccoli?
Dude, broccoli's bad. It smells bad. It's got a farty smell.
Okay, explain to me what a fart smell is then.
Like cloying, heavy, stays around.
That's broccoli? I feel like broccoli is one of the least intrusive vegetables.
No. Give me an onion, give me a pepper.
Okay, those are not fucking greens. Those are like fake fucking vegetables. They're like root-based fucking vegetables.
Give me a potato?
Yeah, okay, give me a carrot. Give me a fucking cucumber. I don't count any of those fucking things as vegetables. They're like bases.
Did we ever talk about beans on the podcast? And beans in China?
Yeah.
I have a question for you, Walter. Do you Do you like desserts? Certain kinds of desserts? Like cakes, maybe? Like maybe a red bean cake? Or a little red bean cakes? A little red bean pastry?
Definitely not as much as a lot of other people.
But so is that... Would you say that there are red bean cakes as a part of Chinese cuisine?
Yeah, red beans... Cakes are a part of Chinese
and
cuisine.
What is that word hidden inside the phrase red bean cake? What's that little word in there? It's bean. It's bean, you.
I will say I talked to like a bunch of Asians after that podcast and asked them about it, and they were all like, yeah, I don't know what your friends were talking about. We do eat less beans, and our beans are a little different.
Your argument was there were 0 beans in Chinese cuisine.
I will say that I did not put that bit into the last podcast.
Oh, really?
So. I mean, how do I fit it? We had a fucking 3-hour-long rant. I cut it down to fucking 15 minutes still.
That's true.
I do admit, if that statement was that I claimed that there were no beans at all, I lost. I agree. I fucked up. But if that statement was just like, I don't understand why you guys are thinking Portugal has beans as a fucking staple just because your country does, that is not a fuck up.
All beans. Everywhere is beans.
Speaking of beans, though, what is pork and beans?
I don't know.
I've heard that term thrown around so much, and I've never seen a single person in my entire life eat pork and beans.
Yeah, it's like a can. It's like a can, right? Like a can of pork and beans.
So it's not like pork chops next to beans.
Dude, I don't know. I don't fuck with beans. I don't trust beans.
Oh my god. You bring this up and you can't even fucking eat beans.
I don't like beans.
Also, you eat tofu. Does that not prove my point that tofu and beans are fucking different?
I eat jelly beans, so I do eat beans.
No, that's my point.
So I do eat beans. That's my point. So I do eat beans.
No, it means that they're not the same. It means the Western legumes are not the fucking same as the Asian beans. No, dude, they're fucking two different types of beans.
For a queen?
Do you eat bean sprouts?
I'm a bean. I'm the queen.
When you rhyme, I know I won.
No.
When you, just so you know, whenever you rhyme, you admit defeat.
No. I wanted to say a rhyme where I said, I eat beans, cause I'm the queen, and I'm real mean. I eat bean sprouts. I put them in my soup if it comes with them.
Dude, you're just proving my point. You're proving my fucking point. Swade does not like beans, but he likes tofu and bean sprouts. It shows that tofu and bean sprouts are not the same type of fucking beans.
Okay, what about an edamame? What about a pea? What about a peanut? Do you like peanuts, Walt? I love peanuts.
I like peanuts. They're fine. I don't love them. Oh, so now he admits
that he likes beans, because everyone knows a peanut is just a bean.
I like beans!
Also, I don't think peanuts are beans.
I just don't give a fuck.
On a vine or on a bush?
I think they are roots.
No, I think they grow in a vine. A bean vine, right?
Oh! Are beans the seeds of grapes, then?
Maybe. Maybe. I think beans are the seeds of grapes.
I believe it. There's some things that I did not expect to be just
like,
seeds of
coffee. Isn't coffee a seed?
Of the apple?
No, coffee's a bean. Coffee's a bean, Walt. Coffee is a bean.
Okay, I don't know why you're yelling this at me as if I'm the one who doesn't like beans.
I'm just saying it's a bean.
Lentils are actually one of my favorites. Not because they actually taste better than beans, but because they're very, what's the word I'm looking for? Flexible. I think lentils are the most flexible legumes.
I like a split pea. I like a split pea, like a lentil split pea.
What is a split pea?
It's like half a pea. It's a split pea.
Why do people do that?
It's the size of my urethra hole. That's why I like it.
No, I mean, like, who's the poor person they make cut the pea one by one so that they can have split peas?
Walter, not everyone's parents own a place where they rear tigers.
What are you talking about? What does that have anything to do with what I just said?
Some people can't afford to have the whole pea.
Oh, that's what you're talking about. I thought it's the wealthy that can afford split peas because they can hire labor to come and split their peas.
No, you have to cut it in half. That way you get double the soup.
Oh, okay. All right, I apologize. That was a very rich brain thing that I just did then.
I also don't like peas.
Dude, your taste in food is actually really cliche. By 50 years old, when you can afford your own money and like you get a pretty good job, you're gonna be the type of person who has to have a steak every meal. Because I've met Americans like that, and it's fucking crazy.
Nah, dude, you know what Swade Best's favorite meal is?
What?
Egg rice.
Egg rice is good.
Nothing better.
I will say though, like for people to have a favorite food, steak is one of the most boring favorite foods someone could have. By the end of 1/3 of that fucking steak, my taste buds are like dying out of boredom.
That's why you need the pickled vegetables. I got for some reason this place I shop has like really cheap beef right now, so I've been eating a lot of it. And I got boneless beef ribs for like super cheap for like $2.79 a pound. It fucking was so good, but it was so fatty. It was like a little too fatty. But you take some of that beef, put it in the rice, pickled vegetables, eat it together. It's so good, dude. It's phenomenal. That's
not steak though.
Is it? It's beef.
What the fuck? Are you telling me like hamburger is a steak?
No, but this was like a big old slice of meat.
Maybe. I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
What do you mean? What do you mean by like a steak? Do you mean like a porterhouse or a T-bone or like an actual cut of steak? Because I can't afford to eat that shit.
Yeah.
Man.
I meant a cut of steak.
Yeah, I can't. I don't eat a whole lot of that. I'll get like pork roast or
I don't understand
roast.
why someone would. Most types of foods in the world, like for example, if you get bored of a burger or if you get bored of a spaghetti, in the middle of the meal, you can do an active switch so you can concentrate on the secondary taste or the color. I don't know. There's just so much diversity when you eat like that type of food. For steak, it's like I'm so fucking tired of it.
No, I'm with you 100%. Like when someone just like puts like a chicken breast in front of you, and then like some mashed potatoes, and it's like here you go, and it's like this is where's the hot sauce? Where's the like weird like little dried up grape slime? Where's the like give me something else.
I want to talk about a film called Szindbád by a Hungarian director called Zoltán Huszárik.
Like Szindbád the sailor? Like, oh, Szindbád the sailor. You ever see that? You ever see that old Popeye cartoon?
What? Isn't that cartoon called Popeye?
Yeah, Popeye. But there's a Szindbád episode where he like has to go beat up Szindbád, I think. All I remember is that there's a song and it goes the Szindbád the sailor. That's all I remember.
By the way, speaking of Szindbád though, the movie is called Szindbád and the main character is called Szindbád. It's based off a number of shorts by a Hungarian author called Gyula Krudi.
Okay.
And since you're such a reader, wow,
yeah,
you must know.
No, yeah, it's really good. There's
shorts?
like kind of a nuanced quality. It's about a wizard.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, this wizard or normal person, he starts out dead. And it basically is about that dead man, where the dead man basically flirts or like is with, I don't know, 20 girls in this film. The first almost 5 minutes of this movie is just this huge montage of just random shots of close-ups of flowers, hair, raindrops, religious pictures. And
what
then
kind of religious
that type of
pictures?
editing,
like Jesus?
Yeah, one of the Christian ones.
Okay.
I'm not entirely sure who it is though. It's yellow, so I guess Asian representation.
Wait, it's in Hungary, right? It's in Hungary.
Yes, and they're Orthodox. So yes, they are. It is Christianity, if that's what you're asking.
It's probably Catholic, probably, right?
Is Orthodox Catholic?
I mean, the Russian Orthodox are Catholics.
I never realized Catholics and Orthodox were like from the same branch.
I think. I'm not 100% sure though.
So besides the fact that like the film will switch into random cuts of just random close-ups of objects, this film is edited sort of like a collection of shorts. So every girl is like a conversation of like 3 minutes, and then it cuts into another conversation with another girl, completely no exposition or background or how he moves into someone else. It's just a cut. In some ways, I kind of feel like this film is about you, Swade, because of how much of a Chad you are and how much you love shorts.
I do like short stories almost more than novels, maybe.
And you love women because you're a Chad.
Because I'm a Chad. I go down to the bowling alley. And I see Susie and Audra and Credenza, and I slick back my hair and I smoke a cigarette. So I say, hey baby, why don't you come back to my Camaro?
So I'm not a Chad.
No. You're a beta male.
I'm a beta
You're a soy
male.
cuck.
But one thing we have in similar is that I'm a pervert.
You're a pervert. You're a dirty pervert.
Yeah, so let's get into it. Obviously, this film just has a bunch of fucking women because this guy's a serial moving on to the next woman, the next woman. In some ways, these girls are a little like anime girls. And I say that because I feel that sometimes anime girls differentiate themselves from one another, not because of like real attitude differences, personality differences, or like character or dialogue, but it's really like more of a stylistic difference.
When you say stylistically different, do you mean visually? Like visually in the way they're presented, or visually in the way they are animated?
Both, honestly, and the environment, right? So like I have all these tsunderes.
You should probably define what that means for the listeners.
Oh my god, you fucking normies! You fucking normie listeners! A tsundere is a girl who's sun and dere. Dere, actually, I have no idea what either of those things mean.
Is it dere like the onomatopoeia for heartbeat?
Oh yeah, I think so too, yeah.
And like sun is like cold or standoffish or something?
Exactly. So it's a cold girl who makes you dere, who makes you heartbeat.
No.
Because you get to know them long
that's
enough.
not it at all. What the fuck's wrong with you? Why do I have to explain this now? The tsundere is the girl who pretends that she doesn't like you, but really she does. And she's like, oh man, it's not like I'm into you or anything, baka, you know, like that whole deal.
Yeah, but that's the modern tsundere. The initial tsundere is the classic tsundere, who is like more of like the Fate Stay Night tsunderes who actually don't really like you initially.
What is Fate Stay Night?
Are you fucking kidding me?
What is that?
Are you?
What is Fate Stay Night? Is that the one with the Infinite Blade Works?
Yes, Infinite Blade Works. Yes,
that's just
it's a porn game.
It's bad.
It's a porn game.
It's bad.
No, it's not bad. It's not fucking bad. It's actually so good.
It's bad.
Okay, in the third route, there's this girl that everyone fucking hates because she's so annoying. And then in the third route, you realize, and the whole fucking visual novel becomes incredibly dark, and you're like, what the fuck? And it's like one of the best fucking arcs ever. Anyways, the point of that is that tsundere is actually a very historical thing and has moved into many different things.
Yeah, and the Fate Stay Night is bad.
Fuck myself. I'm the loser here. Swade's a Chad, so I just gotta take it.
It's good. It's good. It's good.
I don't care about it being good. You're never gonna read the porn game anyways. Okay. Taiga is one of my favorite tsunderes, right?
The Palm Top Tiger.
And she's from Toradora, but it's not like her personality is like so fucking different. What the fuck? It's more that she's visually short, she has visually orange hair, and her character is like similar to a tiger because they always have tigers related to her. She's not actually that different from most anime characters if you strip all that sort of visual style to it.
I mean, when you take away all the stuff from Asuka and the Palm Top Tiger, they're the same. It's the trappings.
Is Asuka the fucking Swords Art Light girl?
No, Asuka from fucking WoW. Fucking weeb check. Asuka from fucking Evangelion.
Oh, yeah, I know Asuka. Evangelion sucks, so that's why I couldn't fucking remember.
Hey, guess what, Walter? Guess what?
Yeah.
Guess what? I also agree. I thought it was a bad show.
I will admit the movie is pretty fun, but I do not like the show as much.
I like the giant robots, but that was about where I got bored. I was like, oh, Shinji.
Anyways, the point of that anime weeb rant that I fucking did, because all I can do is talk about weeb shit stuff, is that a lot of the women in this movie, they say the same thing to Szindbád all the time. They go, please don't leave me, please don't leave me, and then it just cuts into him with another girl. But because they all happen in different places, they all wear very different clothes, a lot of where he ends up talking to them sort of feels very environmentally different. The scenes or the woman he's like flirting with feel very different.
It's like almost like each girl is their own short.
Exactly. It feels weird though because this film doesn't give each short story enough depth.
Well, and I think it's interesting when you look at stuff like How I Met Your Mother or Friends or whatever, that is like so built on relationships and the fact that they don't last until like you find the one that does last.
Yeah.
Those relationships are always presented in the same way visually. It's very rare that you like, you know, get a new aesthetic, and it's because the impetus is on the plot, not on the presentation, right? But this seems like something very different where the impetus is actually on the presentation more than that the relationships are less important in comparison to the presentation of the being.
Mm-hmm. That's actually a super fair point. One of the things I was thinking about, especially since you brought out How I Met Your Mother, which is a fucking great example of
show,
an opposite.
Right? You love it. You love that show, don't you, Walter?
I was about to try to sing the theme song and I couldn't even think.
It goes like ba
now.
ba 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 ba
Oh, yeah, How I Met Your Mother.
Where did you go? How did I meet your mother? You tell me again.
Yeah, great show. Love it so much.
I like the bear. He's my favorite character. The talking bear.
Bob
the talking bear.
Oh, I don't know about the talking bear, but the main character is my favorite. His name is Bob.
And he's a bear, I thought.
Oh, now the memories of that show are coming back to me.
He's a...
Man, that show was so good. He wasn't a bear. He was a furry. He was wearing a fursuit the whole time. But it's hard to tell.
It is hard to tell.
Like,
it's so good. The CGI.
Furries weren't so accepted in social norms. Kind of had to like make it seem like, is he a furry or is he a bear? So
it's very nuanced.
Yeah, but I love the How I Met Your Mother example. I kind of fucking forgot that, as you said, most of these shows about like multiple of women are just like, you literally cannot remember any of the women. How I Met Your Mother, the only important woman is the fucking mother.
It's not even the mother at the end, also, by the way. Spoilers for How I Met Your Mother. It turns out he ends up with Robin.
Oh, so yeah, in the end, it was always just about Robin.
Yeah, even the mom, like, dies. She, like, dies, and he's like, well, I guess I gotta marry Robin now.
Robin was pretty cool, I think, from what I remember. She had that, what's it called? Tsundere. Wasn't she kind of a tsundere?
I don't know. All I remember about that show is when she sings that song about, let's go to the mall, everybody. Let's all just... Wait, how does it go? Let's go to the mall today. You know what I'm talking about?
Is Barney better or How I Met Your Mother better?
Barney is better than How I Met Your Mother because Barney...
Yes!
Because Barney has...
Yes!
Dude, I'm like so fucked up right now, by the way. I would fucking...
I can tell. I
would sit down and watch some Barney right now. I'd just fucking sit down and chill out to some Barney. Just put that shit on, fucking zen out, bro. Fucking like Zoom. Nyquil, baby. Fucking so good.
In some ways, this movie is like Star Trek, right?
Because it's full of aliens.
Star Trek. No, I don't know. There's just something about whenever you visit a new environment, every episode, that environment sort of takes over in a very special way. And I do think this film is sort of like that. Every single
building
woman
a world,
he
right?
ditches-
It's building a world. It's creating like its own separate.
There's no world building here. Right? Because it's more like, it's like each woman is the
exactly.
world, so it's not really a world. It's a little complicated. But
it's world building because the whole linchpin of the shorts is based off of the women. So the entirety of the world is just this character. There's nothing that's out of context of the character. The character is the total context.
So let me get into a few of my favorite examples. I really only have 3. There's this one scene where he's hiking up in the snow with like 10 people, so you get to see him wear like snow jackets and stuff like this. And then it randomly like cuts into this naked woman rolling around in the snow.
Why is she in the snow?
It's artistic purposes. I don't know. It's just some fucking random woman rolling around and she's naked. I don't even know if he flirted with this one. This person, sorry. Not this one. I don't even know he flirted with this person.
You're so fucked up, dude. That shit's so fucked up. What the fuck is wrong with you, dude? Why do you hate women so much, dude?
I don't know. Women are just for my penis.
I love when you say my penis. It's so funny. Every time you say it, it gets me. My penis. Just for my penis.
I wanted to say about that scene though. First of all, it was fun. It's fun to watch naked women, of course. But also, what was weird about it is that initially, right in front of my head, I was like, "Oh my god, she's rolling around the snow. That is so cruel to make someone roll around in the snow naked." But then I think about it. Actually, like rolling around the snow is probably a top 3 thing to roll around in.
What about glass?
I hate glass. I would never want to do glass.
What about acid?
Yes, I would not want to roll around in acid. That's my point. You think that snow is like a bottom 5 thing to roll around in? It's actually a top 3 thing to roll around in. Blankets, bed, and then it's probably snow.
I would like to roll around in mud. Jello.
Okay, Jello's a good one. Though Jello would be a lot of money compared to just rolling around in snow.
That's true.
That's something you have to consider.
Yogurt.
Okay, food. All foods, I guess?
No, because I wouldn't want to roll around in like a Cheetos. Cheetos, because all the movies are Cheetos. Every movie actor is a Cheeto. Or a Skittle. Sour Skittles? Can you imagine rolling around in sour Skittles? That would hurt.
I still think I would prefer to roll around in sour Skittles than snow.
So every year that it snows in my zone, the first snow, when it's like real thick, I get naked and I run around in the snow, and it's very good. And that's true.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I did not know that at all. That's pretty cool.
I have rolled around naked in the snow before. It sucks when you do it, but it gets your blood fucking so pumping. You're like ready to fight a tiger after it. You're just like so fucking jazzed, so fucking pumped.
So I always thought it was really bad because one time when I first lived in a snow place, because Hong Kong does not snow, I was really stubborn and I was like, I can wear flip-flops in the snow. I can fucking
Where
do
were
this.
you?
In England. And by the time I got back to my room, I could not feel my feet and I put them on the fucking hot heater and I could not even feel the heat of the heater. So I was like panicking. I was like, oh my god, my feet are dead. I might have lost them. So I always think like rolling around in snow is like a really bad thing. But
I mean, you don't want to do it for a long time because you could get frostbite, but like just like a quick like 10 seconds. Whew.
Well, my second favorite scene is this restaurant scene. And this one is one of the best ones where you get to see like really good objects because it just cuts into random shots of food while he's talking. There's like this cauliflower soup that I thought looked pretty good. Then there was like some really fatty steak and mashed potatoes. It didn't look like sort of the steaks you get in the American restaurants. Also, there was a really good looking pheasant with like 12 little side dishes wrapped around it. Colorful. My favorite one was this pork marrow scene where while he's eating this pork marrow, it like cuts to this pig head and this killed pig. And then you realize the blood is actually his first dead wife.
Wait, his wife is dead? Why is his wife dead? What happened to her?
I don't actually know. That was like dropped on me so randomly. I was like, what the fuck is going on? I already was like losing the sense of plot really hard by this scene. But he picks up this pork marrow that's like maybe a small tree trunk big, and then he just does this one motion, and a huge piece of marrow just plops out onto his plate, and it's like this fucking
It's like
large.
a big muffin. It's like the size of a big muffin, like a muffin you'd get from a 7-Eleven.
Yeah, and I felt a moment of like harmony. Because I was glad that white people eat shit that most Americans would cry about.
No, dude, bone marrow is fucking phenomenal. Do you remember when we used to get buffalo wings and you suck the marrow out of the buffalo wing?
Maybe? I don't really remember. My favorite scene is this figure skating scene where this girl is like wearing this like completely snowed up look, and the guy calls her a snow princess and then skates and dances with her in like this beautiful shots of mountains. Basically, it's a wild skating rink. I actually just found it kind of crazy that I've seen so little films. You know, a lot of films have dance scenes. Ice skating is kind of just a dance scene. And I'm surprised how little films abuse it because it's actually pretty cool.
But it's also ice skating is also like hard to do because of its location. Like it's you can't just like ice skate in the backyard, right?
But not most dance scenes don't happen in the backyard.
No, but they can happen anywhere.
No, okay, I can agree to that. Most lakes don't just fucking freeze up to become ice skatable like I'm thinking about. Still, I was really impressed by that scene. I've seen ice skating used in movies before in non-conventional ways, but this may have been my first real like, oh, this is just a dance scene. Instead, they're ice skating though.
Does it mean is this as good as that dance scene from 150 Shots of Rum?
No, of course not. That's the best one. Viva Sa Vie by Anna Karenina is the second best one.
So I watched this movie called Auntie Lee's Meat Pie. I watched this movie called Auntie Lee's Meat Pie, and it came out in 1992. And the premise is basically, I can sum up the plot. This lady has 4 super hot nieces, and she uses those hot nieces to seduce men, and then she kills them, or the girls kill them, and then they make them into meat pie that they sell all over town. And that's the whole movie. It's just hot babes. And it's weird
so,
because...
in other words, we both brought movies for perverts.
Yeah, we both brought movies for perverts that are going to illuminate how much of misogynists we are. But one of the things I found interesting is that the gore and the violence for a movie about cannibals is not really all that interesting and not all that good. But it doesn't seem like there was an effort put in. Cannibal movies normally have pretty awesome gore, which is kind of what I was coming for. I was like ready for this gore. I was ready for these blood and guts. Like Cannibal Holocaust, Green Inferno, like the ones, especially the ones that are like super fucked up and like kind of racist, are like the ones that have like the best gore. Instead of the camera really lingering on the violence, it lingers on the women and their bodies, right? So it actually makes it end up feeling more like a softcore porno, especially when you do see the violence. It's like really low budget. Like it doesn't seem like they had a lot of money to do the violent stuff. In this movie, this guy gets his neck bit open, and it literally looks like there's like someone put like some like latex over a spot on his neck that was about the size of like a McDonald's hamburger. I was surprised. I was a little disappointed until I did some Googling and figured out that this movie is like got a fucking star cast. So first of all, it's got Pat Morita he played Mr. Miyagi in Karate Kid, which is crazy that he's in this movie playing this like, he's playing the town's sheriff, who's just like this like really bumbling guy who's like kind of in love with all these hot babes, and like everyone in town eats the meat pies. It's also got Michael Berryman. You'd know him if you saw him. He's super tall, and he doesn't have any teeth or fingernails or hair. I think his most famous role is like the big scary dude in Hills Have Eyes. And then finally it has Karen Black as Auntie Lee. And Karen Black is just like a famous pulp actress. I think the most recent thing I've seen her in was she played the mom in House of a Thousand Corpses, the Rob Zombie movie, which is so fucking good. And one of my favorite horror movies of all time. So, like, really star-studded cast. And then you get to, like, fucking these 4 nieces. And you're like, who are these 4 nieces? Who are these 4 hot nieces? And as it turns out, the 4 hot nieces were all Playboy models. So it's this weird movie where it's, like, famous pulp actresses and actors, and then Playboy models just being cannibals.
You're making it sound like you don't watch any of these movies, which is like kind of surprising, because I feel like any like B horror film will naturally get into sort of these horror films that are more sex exploitative films than horror films.
I get bored of sex on screen. Like, I would much rather watch a movie about like a weird old guy with like hook hands who like rips out people's eyeballs than like a sexy lady who like bangs a bunch of dudes and also like cuts them. I would be like, give me this weird old man with his eyeball hooks. And so like when the two intersect, I get excited, because like at that point it's like, why am I just looking at naked women? This is boring.
For me, it's more that it's not that easy to tell them apart all the time, so sometimes I just end up into the intersection.
And I think it depends on your palate, right? And also, like, the effect at which it's done. Like, we've talked about Barbarella a little bit before. I love Barbarella. I think it's a fantastic movie. Definitely a sexploitation film. But that's most of what's going on in it. Like, as far as visually. I guess I just have a hard time equating violence and sex together. That's, like, not something that really gets me going. With the exception of there's one character, and this is actually says more about me. When something is like supposed to be sexy but also make you uncomfortable, that's my favorite. That's why I love House of a Thousand Corpses. There's so many sections where Karen Black and Sherry Moon Zombie in House of a Thousand Corpses are like supposed to be sexy but are also doing something like deeply fucked. And those are the scenes that like are like, yes, this is a good movie now, because it's like giving me two things that are not supposed to go together, and when they do, it makes me like want to visually experience it. Like in House of a Thousand Corpses, Sherry Moon Zombie like pretends to be a little girl. She's got like little girl vibes, and she's also like sex pot, like super curvy, like always exposing her boobs and stuff. And it's very weird and very uncomfortable, and so it makes for like a fun experience. And the gore, here, let me describe the girls, Walt, and you can say which one would be your favorite, and then I'll tell you how you would have died. There's Fawn, who's blonde. She's like platinum blonde. She wears short jeans. She has her boobs out all the time, and she's like very like coy. There's Carlisle. Oh no, her name's Coral, who has this curly brown hair. She like listens really well. And then there's Sky, whose whole thing is she's just Asian. That's like literally her whole character is she's just like that's not fair. But she doesn't really get characterized. Oh, you know what? Actually, no. Sky's the dumb one.
Oh, the dumb Asian. Does she use forks to eat sushi?
They don't eat sushi. They eat like Texas style barbecue.
Oh, actually, that's a good point. It's funny how carnivore-ness in America is so based on like barbecue.
You mean cannibal?
Or like
steak. Cannibal or carnivore?
Cannibalism, all that meat usually goes into like making steak, making like pure meat stuff, barbecue. But You could make sushi humans.
I think one of the reasons why cannibalism and barbecue tend to go together is that the idea of cannibalism tends to gravitate towards the idea of the savage, right, as an archetype. And the two types of savages that exist in the archetype for horror movies are both racist. Okay, one is racist, one is prejudiced. One is the cannibal savage, which has to do with like native people and stuff like that, which is fucked. And then the other end of like the savage character is like rednecks, right? Cannibal rednecks, mountain people, stuff like that, which is also a little bit fucked. When you compare like the artistry that comes in with sushi, and like the practice and the skill level versus barbecue, you just fucking throw that shit on the grill. It's good, bro. It's good, baby. I think visually it's even easy too, because you just like slop someone's arm off and you just throw it haphazardly on the meat. It adds to the savage nature of cannibalism. But I think Hannibal Lecter is very differently. Like Hannibal Lecter from Silence of the Lambs, he would definitely eat human sushi. You know, he's like a gourmand.
For sure. Actually, that's a fair point. All right. Give me the other two
Magnolia,
girls.
Magnolia, who's like the femme fatale with like brown hair. And then there's a fifth member whose name is Baby. And I'll tell you about Baby last. But which one would you pick?
Of course, I would have to watch the film to definitely make my statement, but I think the Magnolia one sounds like the one I'd be most obsessed with.
So, she's like the Southern Bellish one. So these like rock stars get like trapped out. The girls like blow out these rock stars' tires on their cars and then trick them into coming back to the place so that they can murder them for their meat. And they're like staying for the night and the girls all like get them separated to do their murder. Magnolia at dinner is like, oh, you need to meet our sister Baby. But Baby is like a girl. She's like a teen. She's like a daughter. Baby looks like a hot, sexy 20-something, but she's in a baby diaper and she's in a crib and her room is covered in baby dolls that are strapped to the wall. And she pretends to be a baby, or she lives like a baby, or she's handicapped to the point where she's a baby. And it's super weird because they shoot her as if she's supposed to be sexy, but she's also definitely pretending to be a baby.
Which is not that different from a lot of porn videos or Playboy
That's true. Some people are really into the little girl stuff, and which is, I think, maybe kind of fucked. I don't know.
That is literally the most common fetish. I bet if you lined up all the fucking people in the world and asked them what their fetish is,
okay, well, we're not here to kink shame. Everyone's allowed to fuck a pumpkin if they want.
I'm not kink shaming. I'm just saying it's funny that one of the most problematic kinks is the most common kink. Timothy Chalamet, give it to me!
All right, but so one of the musicians like goes back with Baby and Magnolia because it's time for Baby to go back to bed. Baby's room is like filled with like blue and red lights and it's like totally weird. And this band dude's like, yeah, far out. And then he sees like a chain with some cuffs on it. And he's like, what's this for? And Magnolia's like, oh, that's for Baby when she gets too rambunctious. And the dude's like, I kind of like being tied up. Kind of gets me going. And so Magnolia ties him up. And then he's like, oh yeah, I love this. And then Magnolia's like, yeah, I like pain too. And she starts talking about car wrecks. And then meanwhile, while she's talking about car wrecks, Baby, who's like this woman who's pretending to be or is living as a baby, starts kissing on his neck and puts her hands in his pants. And the dude's like, oh yeah, my wiener, man. And then all of a sudden she like bites out his throat and he starts screaming while Magnolia starts laughing, and it starts cutting really quick between like pictures of the baby dolls and Baby, the actress, like chewing on this dude's neck and Magnolia like rubbing on her boobs. It was the best part of the movie.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I love these types of movies.
You like this exploitation
I do. And I like it with horror.
I'm down. I just want it to be a better split. I need it to be like an even 50-50
Here's
split.
my thing about the exploitation thing. I don't even know if sexploitative films are actually that sexy. I imagine Magnolia like rubbing her tits while like the fucking thing is like bleeding. And like it's like kind of more just ridiculously funny than like, oh, you know what I mean?
I don't know. It's a weird movie. I don't quite know because the ladies are very attractive.
No, it definitely does tingle that part of the brain. I feel like sometimes it's more like the real sex parts are the least sexy. And the sex is just having hot girls walk around and be hot, which is something you can find in like even Wonder Woman. But if Gal Gadot suddenly was like fighting people and just took out her tits randomly for no fucking reason, those moments would be the least sexy part.
No, that's true, and I think some of that has to do with the way we've been saturated by sexual imagery, right? Because, like, this is pre-internet pornography, right? For our people, for our generation or whatever, right? There's these two kinds of, like, sexual imagery, which is, like, imagery that is supposed to be chaste, but has beautiful women in it and therefore is arousing, i.e. real life. And then there's pornography where it's like, watch Adriana Chechik get like 7 dildos in her ass while she pukes on Bella Danger or whatever. So this weird in-between where it's like, look at this lady rub her boobs while Snake eats a guy. It's like, it's neither the chaste, like, oh, my hot neighbor, nor is it like the, like, you know, watch Tila Tequila, fuck a cat.
You're right. Maybe it is the Zoomer stuff. Maybe it's just oversaturation. Because now I think about it, I did used to masturbate to the disclosure scene in Michael Crichton's book. And I, like, would borrow it from my school library in middle school and like read that part in like a corner and then feel incredibly horny. And I returned the book already and I finished the book and I would borrow it again just to reread that part to feel horny about. But that was because I was like very young and didn't know, like if I read that scene right now, it would just be fucking hilarious.
Yeah, no, that's what I think that's what it is that like this kind of movie doesn't really function in the same way as it used to. Sexploitation is either like too misogynistic to play really well, or is like too middle of the road when we have actual pornography that's dirtier than this. Or not even pornography, right? Like there's like actual lesbian sex in Orange is the New Black. That's like a show that has like won awards. Compare Orange is the New Black to like old school sexploitation prison movies like Birdcage or whatever. All those Pam Grier movies.
Oh, so this is like the American prequel of Prisoner Scorpion Woman.
You mean Lady Snowblood?
No, Lady Snowblood is not the one who was in prison, dude. By the way, you know they're two different characters, right? They're acted by the same person, but they're two different characters. Lady Snowblood and Prisoner Scorpion Girl, they're like two different fucking characters.
Both are good movies. If you want to check them out, it's got tons of badass fights, hot babes.
It's just Mako KG being hot. That's it.
You know, actually, where this does satisfy me, though, is sexploitation films that also have fighting in it. Like Oni-chan Bara or whatever, that Japanese, like, zombie movie, where, like, the girls, like, dress up in, like, very skimpy bikinis with samurai swords and fight zombies. Like that, I'm like, oh yeah, titties and swords, bring it on.
Now I think about it, I feel like those type of films you get super excited about with me when we watch. Like, Barbarella is one of the fighting ones. That's why you like it.
Well, yeah, it's also weird. It's zany. So, like, oh, and there's a movie called Blood-Sucking Freaks. This is probably my favorite sexploitation film, even though it is, like, cancel-worthy. It's about this guy who's, like, super into sadistic violence, as a way to, like, explore art. And so he, like, tortures these, like, schoolgirls and then kills them. And it's kind of like a bondage movie. Like, it's bondage, but without any penetration. But, like, they're very clearly supposed to be high school girls. It's very weird, but there are a lot of, like, really hilarious scenes. Good-ass movie, though. It ends with a naked zombie lesbian orgy where they just, like, tear apart dudes and, like, eat their dicks.
Yeah, and that one also just has, like, more absurd props around.
Yeah. It has, like, the girl who's, like, she's got, like, a guillotine. She's in a guillotine, and she's got, like, like, the rope in her mouth. And then, meanwhile, the guy's, like, hitting her feet. And if she, like, screams and opens her mouth, the guillotine comes off and chops off her head. And then her head gets chopped off. And then the African-American dwarf, like, fucks the skull. And it's just, like, that's crazy. You should probably bleep out the fact that I just said fucks the skull.
Fucking skulls is one of the most normie shit. If you can't fucking allow someone to fuck a skull, you should probably get a life. Touch some grass.
Touch some
Actually,
grass.
Maybe I should touch some grass because I care. Because I love people fucking skulls. Can I tell you one of my favorite cannibal foods I've seen? So in Ravenous, it's like not a sex exploitative film. In fact, it's like only men, and usually most of the scenes where it's just these people just eating each other raw. But there is this one scene where they make this really good looking fucking stew with potatoes, and they use a ladle to get the stew up, and there's just like big chunks of bone and marrow, and so it's probably not human, of course, but it looks really good and really weird. It actually almost is like grosser because of how much it looks good. And then at the same time, I knew it was human meat, so my stomach did have like a bit of a queasy feeling. even now I'm talking about it and imagining that stew, it's like making me a little queasy. Because honestly, I might start eating humans.
Yeah, no, it's titillating. It titillates your organs.
You could also, another good one. I mean, like dumplings is a famous one. I think it's by Fruit Chan from Hong Kong.
I think it's more palatable. I think the movies where it's like really like high art food that is made out of human meat are the ones that are hardest to watch, right? Like dumpling in particular is like, because the premise is like people eating dumplings filled with fetuses to stay young, and it's like it's gross, and it's not just like gross because it's babies. Like they shoot it gross. They make it hard to watch.
I think it's always really fun to see carnivorism.
Jesus fucking Christ, dude! It's cannibalism.
Okay, cannibalism. Cannibalism. Oh my god, English. What a fucking important language. Oh, I love English.
Carnivores are creatures that eat only meat. Cannibals are creatures that eat their own species.
That sounds very similar to me. I didn't say vegan.
Oh my god. It's totally it's literally very different.
Anyways, I think it would be really cool if we could make a movie about someone who's a serial killer vegan, but he likes eating people. So instead of killing them, he just keeps them in his basement and cuts their fingernails and slices it into a salad. Fingernails are not meat, right? If you just eat fingernails and hair, that's probably not...
It's not meat. It's
gonna break your vegan
It's
code.
Like cellulose or something. It's different. And I think, like, not everyone wants to cross that line. Like, especially when you're talking about cannibalism, right? There's a really thin line between, like, going too far and making it, like, impossible to watch. I think that's true of a lot of things.
You mean, like, actually doing it real life?
But, like, there's a lot of horror that, like, becomes unpalatable because of how far it goes, right?
Isn't that just unpalatable to you? Like, I don't know why.
Okay, but it's unpalatable to a lot of viewing audiences, right? Like, there's a reason... there's a reason why lots of people have seen...
So would this film.
No, I mean, like, there's a threshold that has to be reached of, like, how fucked up can we make this before it becomes too fucked up for other people to watch?
I mean, I think there are things that make things fucked up. I just don't know what this arbitrary line that you desire to draw.
It's not an arbitrary... It's not a line that exists. It's a line that has to do with averages.
Oh, survey says...
Yeah, exactly. No, but I mean, it's true. It's why people like watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Halloween, but they don't like watching The Human Centipede. I mean, like, there's a line where something becomes too fucked up for most people. For the normal populace.
I think stuff like Texas Chainsaw Massacre or something like that, they use normal art housey kind of vibes to get over that shit. I don't think it's like about the degree of fucked upness.
So are you telling me that The Human Centipede is as fucked up as Nightmare on Elm Street?
I think if someone made The Human Centipede really, really artistically serious in a very specific way, people wouldn't just come out of that movie being like, oh, gross. Like Salo.
No, I actually think you're wrong about this. I think most people come out of Salo being like, oh my god, that was disgusting.
I don't know. I mean, maybe, dude. Survey says, where's our surveys?
Okay, you know what? If you're listening to... Alright, fucking comment it. Comment it. Leave it a review. Shoot us an email.
Okay, how about this? I agree pedophilia is like a threshold. That's why Salo is like hard for me to talk about. And I agree that maybe it is like one of the big examples. But I don't think cannibalism has that type of threshold.
Now, see, I disagree. I totally disagree because otherwise people would be watching Dumpling in the same way that they watched this movie, and they're not.
But Dumplings is really popular. Like a lot of people love that film.
A lot of people, but a lot of people will not.
And
watch
a lot of people
right?
won't watch this film.
The people who are watching Dumpling are not the people who are gonna go to the movie theater and see Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm saying there are different. There's like
people who are watching this movie are not going to see Nightmare on Elm Street in movie theater either.
What do you mean? Why not?
People who watch Nightmare on Elm Street are too busy masturbating to Exorcist or Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They're not watching this movie. If you're watching Dumplings, you're probably watching this movie. In fact, it's very likely because you have spread to horror that's like Dumplings, you're starting to watch this movie.
Well, then isn't that only proving my point that there's like mainstream elements of horror that there is a line on either side of horror that you can go either too extreme or too silly to make it unpalatable to the viewership?
That's fair. Actually, you know what? Maybe that's proving your point, but the reason why I brought that point up is more of a point to say that there's a mainstream presentation and everything outside of it is just uttered.
Yeah, but it also has to do with what you're presenting.
Yeah, I know that's the argument here. I don't know. It's hard for me to be... I mean, sure. Like, it's not like...
No, you know what? No,
why
you
should
don't
I
have to agree.
Why should I be unconvinced? Why should I be
We don't have
actress?
to. We don't have to agree. Listeners, fucking write in. Tell us.
All right, the poll is gonna dictate. The society is gonna dictate.
Society, bro.
No, at the same time, I'm not like.
I'm done talking to you and your silly problems.
Okay,
and
sorry.
your bullshit.
Sorry.
You
Right,
weak little man.
I apologize.
You crab of a man.
I apologize.
You lobster of a boy.
I apologize.
You bitch. My favorite part of this movie is when Magnolia is refilling the gasoline in her car and her panties or her dress flies up, because it is very obvious that they had a fan blowing off screen to blow up her dress. There's no way the wind would just blow up her like full panty shot otherwise.
You don't think it had anime viewer powers?
I mean, that's what it's supposed to be, but it's just like so obviously on purpose.
That's
it's
cool.
like it's just like so wild.
I would have loved that scene for sure. However, I also do believe in the power in the anime. So if you believe strongly enough, the fan will disappear.
My favorite anime is Cars.
How about How I Met Your Mother?
It's How I Met Your Mother. That's a better callback. That would have been a better callback.
Last week, motherfuckingly, we love you, but you did talk a lot. So we actually didn't really thank any of our comments. So this week, we come back to thanking comments. Let us go
let's
back
thank
to
the comments.
All right, so on Discord, we've had some really good conversations with some of our fans, friends. One of my favorite comments I've been reading is from Butthole. Basically, they said they have 3 things that they're surprised about. First of all, they can't believe Batman and Berserk can have a comparison, which is a callback to one of the older episodes. They also can't believe that Swade is inviting Justin McElroy on the podcast, which
That's right, Justin, my boy.
Still don't know who the fuck that is.
I love you, Justin.
Also, Butthole said they can't believe Walter sucks on action figures to get off, which, fuck you. That is not that weird, and it's actually super normal, and you should try it.
You're a pervert, Walt, and Butthole knows it. I want a quick shout out, my boy, the silent patient. I'm not going to say his real name. He works at the pizza place. He comes into my bookstore all the time. Started listening to the podcast. He's getting ready to move soon out to the big North Carolina. He will be missed. So I hope he keeps listening to the podcast.
We also got another conversation from some of our fans. One by King Froggy and one by Butthole, where they do a huge callback to one of our really old episodes about how they think fish heads are gross and that they don't understand how you can eat fish head because they don't feel like fish head has parts to eat.
No, actually, that was not the comment. The comment was making fun of you, Walter, saying that they would kick your ass, and also basically making fun of us for not understanding that there are parts of fish.
Okay, that is true. My stupidity was a little stupid there. But if you look down, someone does say, oh my, it's our number 1 fan, Butthole, who says, I just don't understand what parts of fish head you can eat.
Oh, well, that's dumb. You can suck out the juice. You can suck out the juice. You can eat the cheeks. You can eat the skin. You can eat the brain, the eyes.
The cheeks are the favorite parts of kids. Cheeks are like mac and cheese. When they get on the fucking table, all the kids go, oh my god, mommy, I want the fucking cheek. And then because there's only one
bones,
fish,
right? It's because there's no bones.
But because there's only one cheek, all the kids argue. And sometimes the dinner gets ruined. And it's terrible. The fucking Chinese dinner is ruined. The parents all want to kill their own children. And then sometimes they do and eat them and put them in dumplings. But that is for another day.
Oh, shout out to Tim Pirata. He's been tweeting our episodes. So check out at Tim Pirata, spelled TIMPIRATA.
And I want you guys to know, if you don't want us to shout out every single time something gets retweeted, send us more messages, because this is how desperate we are to continue this bit.
And NB Cigarette Productions, NB Cigarette was talking about Mom Jeans, the band, and I said some stuff about how Edward 40 Hands is the best song by them. So yeah, check out at Sandrew Duck. They do good stuff. They make good tweets. And they also have pretty good taste in sad boy, like punk and folk punk and all that fucking loser shit that we all listen to. Shout out to Nyquil. Yo, Nyquil. Sponsor us. This episode brought to you by Nyquil.
Shout out to my mom for saying, I'm glad you're keeping yourself busy.
Do you love your mom? Do you love your mom, Walter?
I love my...
Oh, here it goes. He loves the podcast.
True disappointment.
I love my mom.
I love my mom.
Oh, he said it! He said it! Yay! Yay! Walter loves his mom! Okay, folks. I want to fucking pass out. I feel like shit. So I don't think there's anything left to say, but if you're gonna watch a movie, go ahead and do it with the dang old lights off.